Hey, Jeremiah, thanks for joining us today. CL Brown, please begin.
Hey, Jeremiah, you were being named as kind of a mentor to Cedric Gray, and even he back in the summer, I think it was mentioned going over to your house to play video games, and then you making him break out the playbook to kind of go over the scheme and everything. I just wanted to get your perspective on how your friendship, how your relationship has grown, and what kind of player Cedric has grown into.
Yeah. So, I mean, when Ced came in, I kind of just wanted to do what, the backers did for me when I got here. I mean, Andre Smith and I think Cole Holcomb did a good job. Great job of developing young linebackers, that you see today. With Chaz coming out, me coming out, guys who are able to play the linebacker position at a really high level. And that's what I wanted to do before I left Carolina. I thought I want to leave it better than what I got here. And I think just meeting with Ced and just meeting with all the linebackers that came in, I think me and Ced just grew close to one another because he was just always asking questions. He was always wanting to find out what that next level was about a formation, check, call. So, the relationship just grew, and sometimes he'd come over to my house. Sometimes I wouldn't quiz on him, but as the relationship grew stronger and stronger, he'll come over and play video games, and sometimes I might just click the game down and we'll turn on projector and we just might sit there and just watch film for the upcoming season because the season hasn't even started yet. So we'd watch film based on formation and stuff we would call. And I think it came no surprise to me when what Ced has been able to do so far this season. He prepares himself like he's been a starter for 3 to 4 years in the program. He asks questions when they need to be asked, and then just his communication, I believe, on the field, it helps him just play to the level that he can play at. I can't say enough about Ced. I think he's came a long way. Even in fall camp, they had Ced playing Mike and Will learning both positions. And for him to be able to settle down and go to that Will position and play it at a really high level, it says a lot. And I think he's just going to continue to get better and better as the year goes along and as his career goes on.
And just a quick follow, how rare is it for someone to learn both those Will and Mike positions at the same time?
I think it's pretty rare, but I think we were kind of in a rare position. We got an older guy, me playing Mike, and then we have Eugene coming in who's played a lot of snaps at Will, and then we have 2 freshmen who haven't played any snaps at all. So we needed a guy who could kind of learn both those positions, Mike and Will, and I think he handled it as good as you can handle learning 2 different positions. We're both inside backers, but then again, the Will and the Mike at times do totally different things. The Mike has 1,000 reps of 3x1 hitting the D gap, but the Will doesn't have 1,000 reps of hitting the D gap and 3x1. He's used to hitting the A gap, and for him just to adjust and just pick up the calls, pick on the adjustments. That just shows how hard he's been working in the film room and how hard he's been working in the weight room. And I think that's just shown here on Saturdays. I think he's going to continue to get better.
Thanks.
Andrew Jones, go ahead.
Hey, Jeremiah, you guys have, of your 5 remaining opponents, 4 of them are ranked right now. Obviously, you don't want to look too far ahead. You got a big one this weekend, but how much of an opportunity is it for you guys, big opportunity to sort of reverse the narrative around the team right now, the way you guys can close the season?
I don't think you could have asked for a better opportunity, especially based off how we started the season. Being able to finish this season with 4 ranked opponents, and they're all in the top 25, good, prestigious teams. I don't think we could have asked for anything more. I think that it's the whole season's decided up to us. Do we want to end the season with a bad ending, or do you want to end the season on the right path, not starting like how we wanted to start it, but finishing like how we know the team can finish?
Notre Dame has kind of used as a second quarterback a little bit of late, a guy who can run a little bit more. What have you seen from their offense and the fact that you got to prepare really for 2 different types of quarterbacks that could be a challenge?
Yeah, definitely. 12 they bring in. What he's shown on film, his ability to scramble and to find receivers is at a very high level. Sometimes they have some designed run plays for him, and sometimes they have some RPO checks and play action passes that he's able to diagnose and create a play out of. He kind of reminds me of their quarterback last year and how he could extend plays and make plays with his legs. And I think that's sort of the ability he brings when he is out there on the field.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay, let's go to Gregory Hall.
Hey, Jeremiah, when the defense is playing at a high level, what are some of the things that you're seeing at a constant, and how does that differ when things aren't going the way you want it to?
The first thing I notice is I feel like our energy is up. I feel like the energy in the rooms or out there on the field is really high. Like when someone makes a play, everybody's around the ball, jumping, excited. The sidelines going crazy. But what's happening when the game isn't going right? Maybe we're down by 10 points or we're down by 2 scores, and someone makes a big play. How is the energy on the field at that time rather than being up 14 and getting excited? Why can't we get excited when we're down by 10 points and someone makes a big play? I feel like that's the biggest change besides our communication is our energy. Like, just because we're down by 10 points and someone makes a big play doesn't mean you can't go over there and celebrate it with them and jump on them and celebrate with them. I think that's something we got to get better at. I think that's something we talked about during this week is bringing more energy when things aren't going right. Like if someone makes a good play and we're down by 10, go over there and tap your man on the head. That's still a great football play. So for me, it's the energy and it's the communication.
And do you think that part of that is kind of goes in hand with the not being able to handle adversity as much as maybe the last 2 seasons?
Absolutely. I think you said it best. Like when adversity strikes, I feel like the difference between this year and the past 2 years is that when adversity hits in the face, like, are you going to stand up and come to the challenge, or are you going to morph down? And I'm not going to say we morph down from like the challenge ahead of us. I just feel like the energy on the football field and then on the sideline goes down as soon as adversity hits, whether they're up by a touchdown or they're up by 3 points. I feel like the energy goes down on the field and on the defensive side of the ball. And I feel like that's something we can get corrected and get better at.
Appreciate that.
Adam Smith.
Hey, Jeremiah, wanted to ask you about Notre Dame, and you used the word prestigious about some of these schools you guys have left on the schedule. I mean, Notre Dame is about as name brand as it gets for a guy, like you, who's been around for a long time. Is this just playing up there in that setting? Is it in some ways a bucket list opportunity for yourself?
I mean, absolutely. Growing up, I've always known about Notre Dame. I always know about Big Ben up there. I mean, it's exciting to go up there and play. I know all about the atmosphere, seen it on TVs for years. Actually, I have family who live up north who are big Notre Dame fans. So I've heard about it all my life, watched it on TV. And just to have the opportunity to go up there to play, I'm just blessed. I mean, this is what players live for. This is what players in college football. I mean, if you're not excited to go play up at Notre Dame, I don't think you're in the right sport.
Tell us about those family members. Where do they live, and who are they?
They live in Pennsylvania. They're about 2 hours outside of Philly, but that's my grandparents. They're my older uncles and aunts, and some of my cousins live up there. And since growing up, some of them are Eagles fans, and some of them are just diehard Notre Dame fans and don't really have like an NFL team. So it was kind of split. So always growing up with my cousins that come down, they would always talk about Notre Dame, and we would always talk about like Georgia football or whatever's going down south.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
Ross Martin, let's finish up with Jeremiah.
Hey, Jeremiah, how have you been challenged this season as a leader?
I think how I've been challenged is kind of what I've said before with the with us hitting adversity at points in games and points during the season. I feel like I've been a leader since Max gotten here, but something that I've never really had to harp on the guys about on the team or on the defensive side of the ball is when adversity hits, like how are you going to come back? How are you going to face it? And for my first 2 years here with us not having really the 2 years before here, not really playing, the guys not playing good ball. We're not winning too many games. For us to go and be in a game and be in a 3 or 7 or 10 point deficit was nothing to the guys who I think endured what we had to endure for those years. And I think that's the biggest, I think, challenge I had as a leader was getting the guys to play when times weren't right. Before I felt like we could buckle down and get ready to go, and guys were ready to play. If we were down by 13 points, you didn't see anybody hesitate on the defensive side of the ball or the energy. And for sure, I think that would be since I've been a leader here at Carolina, I think that would be my biggest challenge is just getting the guys' mindset. Like when there's a 10 or 3 point deficit, like there's no deficit that we can't overcome, especially with the offense that we have where they can score so quick. And that's why I tell the guys, like, let's get the ball back to the offense. I mean, they can score in 2 to 3 plays, get points up on the board. We're not out of this game. And to answer your question, I think that's part of my biggest challenge as a leader.
All right, Jeremiah, thanks for a few minutes. Appreciate it.
You have a good one.